Sometimes when we're working within EVE-NG in a large topology, there may come a need for us to actually connect to other virtual machines within the virtualization platform. Lucky for us, EVE-NG has the ability to do just that. We can actually attach clouds into other virtual switches on the virtualization platform, and we can control how EVE-NG nodes, the nodes within our topology, actually communicate to other virtual machines that are hosted on the same hardware as the EVE-NG instance. Get ready, because by the end of this video, we'll understand how we can connect EVE-NG to other virtual machines in a controlled fashion by creating new vSwitches and NICs. Let's go. So now what happens when I have an EVE-NG topology and I have nodes within that topology that need to communicate to other VMs, but maybe those VMs are on a different vSwitch or a different port group. That's what we're here to talk about in this particular video. If I jump over to an EVE-NG topology real quick, this is one that we saw in the previous video when we were introducing the different types of clouds. You may have noticed in the network dropdown here under the type, there's cloud 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down through 9. What are these all about? What did these really do? What these are actually representing are the different NICs that we can add to EVE-NG. So if I jump back to ESXi, I can look at my virtual machines real quick, and I can go to EVE-NG Pro. And if I choose to edit this, look at this, right here, I can choose to add network adapters. So here I have my first network adapter. This is what's going out to my VM network, which is what goes out to my physical network. But I could also add a new network adapter that attaches to an entirely different port group or an entirely different VLAN, like flat. If I click save here, I see that it's trying to perform the action right here. It may need to take a minute to take effect. And there we go. It completed successfully. And now EVE-NG right here has two physical networks. It is physically connected to the VM network. It is also now connected into the flat network. So if I want to use Cloud 1, for instance, Cloud 1 would be using this network adapter, and it could then communicate to all of the other virtual machines that are on that network. For instance, I'll jump down to vSwitch 0, and you can actually see the diagram of how this is laid out. I have my VM network, which has my EVE-NG Pro and my Ubuntu desktop machine. Those are communicating on the 10.10.21.0 network, but I also have them communicating on VLAN 100, which is the 172.16.1 network. To further validate that, I'll bring up the console of my Ubuntu desktop, give it an IP address. At the top, I see the first NIC of 10.10.21.26, and if I scroll down just a hair, I see the second NIC of 172.16.1. So now EVE-NG has a cloud connected into that physical network, or at least that virtual switch which has that port group. So here, I'll change this to be Cloud 1, and I'll call this VLAN 100. I'll edit the symbol, of course, to be a cloud, and I'll add a node to the topology. I'll connect it into VLAN 100, and start the node. While this node is starting up, it is critical to point out one more thing about this particular port group that we're working with. You see, I've now connected that network to be the flat port group, but if I click on the port group and choose Edit Settings, we have to make sure that the security is set to accept promiscuous mode, because EVE-NG is still running like a hypervisor, and multiple MAC addresses from all the different nodes in the topology are going to be coming into this vSwitch, apparently from the same VM. So we need to have promiscuous mode turned to accept in order to allow this communication to take place. So the router is coming to life right now for the first time. We're going to let it come up and give it an IP address. Here we go. I'll go into config T, interface Ethernet 00, give it the IP address of 172.16.1, let's say 10, for instance, and no shut. We'll make sure that the interface state comes to up. I give it a show IP interface brief. I see the status is up and the line protocol is up. The final test is now, can my Ubuntu machine reach that router from the same subnet? I'll say ping 172.16.1.10, and there we go. We have round-trip traffic going from this Ubuntu machine to the EVE-NG machine, now leveraging a different port group or even a different vSwitch if that's what we wanted it to do, thanks to the power of the different clouds. So that's been understanding how all of the different clouds work within EVE-NG. Thanks for stopping by, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.